I think Warcraft Rumble is a really amazing game, and I think it has a big challenge in front of it, and I think it has the opportunity to delight a ton of players and also upset a ton of players, and we're going to see if it's going to be able to rise to the occasion to stay awesome. Hello everybody, Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yeehaw! Let's get into one of Warcraft Rumble's biggest hurdles that it has on the horizon. While I talk about this, you're going to see some matches being played. I was just trying out some Baron matches on the new map right here and ranking up in PvP. But I wanted to talk about one of the biggest issues that Warcraft Rumble has in front of it, and it is these babies right here. Talents and what they mean for the future of the game. Every single unit or mini inside of Warcraft Rumble has an option of 3 different talents once you level it up, from common to uncommon to rare, etc. And you can bring one of those into combat. It's the biggest place that people will get stuck inside of Warcraft Rumble, and it's without question, I think, one of the biggest decisions, if not the biggest decision you're going to make for all of your units inside the game. And I think it could be what makes or breaks this game. If you're playing this game free to play, or even relatively free to play by only buying sort of that big, booster that ups all of your gold and collection level stuff in the beginning, you're going to start to hit walls inside of the game. This is natural, and of course this is intended by the game. They want to encourage you to spend money, and they also want you to grind, come back every single day to get more, tomes, to get more things from PvP, to fight the new dungeon and to level up all of your decks and things like this. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but they do run into a big issue when it comes to talents. I'm sure you've heard about this if you've seen a lot of Warcraft Rumble content. If you haven't, the talent system is one of the biggest decisions you're going to make inside the game. Once you upgrade a unit, you have a choice of 3 talents once you see them inside the grid, which may not happen as often as you expect. Like, I'm still waiting for a very specific Darkspear Troll talent, and I'm not going to buy any others, but this is kind of where the problem comes in. Once I get the Darkspear Troll talent I'm looking for, which, let me take you into the game really quick right here. The talent I am looking for on the Darkspear Troll, where are you, my sweet prince? I think it's called Big Bad Voodoo. Oh, yes, Big Bad Voodoo. Regenerate 20% health every second. That's the talent I'm looking for. I think there's cool stuff about headhunting, serpent sting. There are still some talents for different units inside the game that are better or worse than others, and there's some that's like, okay, you pick that one seems to be fine. What's going to happen, though, at some point inside of Warcraft Rumble, we're going to see the game go through balance changes. This happened inside sort of the soft release, it's happened inside the beta. Once they notice a character, for instance, Baron is too powerful, one of its abilities is too good, they're going to need to nerf that. Other things that don't get a lot of play, they might want to buff it. Maybe they'll reduce the cost of its gold, or maybe they'll make one of its talents better, or maybe they'll make a talent worse. And this is where you're going to run into a lot of player frustration, and I'm very curious to see how Warcraft Rumble is going to handle it. Basically, what's going to happen is your favorite unit, the best talent, is going to get a nerf. For instance, something that's kind of broken right now, like Flame Burst on Whelp Eggs, that's going to get a nerf. And then everybody who put all of these resources into getting Flame Burst on Whelp Eggs is going to feel kind of slighted, because they were building their decks, they were figuring this out, they were really trying to get all of their, units upgraded with the perfect talents, and then a meta shift comes, a balance change comes, and then all of a sudden, this thing that you worked really, really hard to get isn't that good anymore. And now you've got to upgrade a unit not only from, common to uncommon, you have to take it up another level to rare to get a new talent. But who knows if when you get this new talent, that talent will not be nerfed at some point. And ideally, for game balance, it will, but the question's going to be, how is Warcraft Rumble going to handle the fact that people have put in a lot of time and energy into specific minis with specific talents, and they very specifically want them to be good, and they want them to do well because they know this is the best talent. They looked up all the guides online, they saw what everyone was picking, they watched people use it in PvP, they heard, your favorite Warcraft Rumble content creator talking about it, and they finally got it, and then it gets nerfed right away. And what do you do? What do you do with these players? And I think that is going to be the big decision that Warcraft Rumble needs to make. How do you handle it when a talent or a unit gets completely changed, gets completely nerfed, because in the scheme of the game, it is overpowered. What do you do with everyone who's playing Baron inside the game, and they're all using the skeletal mage's the chill of the grave talent, and then the game goes, yeah, this talent's broken, we need to do something about it, and then all of a sudden all the resources and time you put into this character feels wasted, and to get to the next level is very, very far away. For some players, it's going to encourage them to push forward, it's going to encourage them to play more, try out different things, and it's going to be an exciting time. But I think for some players, it's going to be extremely off-putting. I think for some players, it might be the kind of decision that makes them move away from Warcraft Rumble. It's going to be the thing that upsets them too much. They worked so hard, especially when you're playing this game only free to play. You have to be very careful with your gold, because any game like this, at first, the gold is raining in. You're just getting, you know, gold all the time, new levels all the time, new units all the time. But that's early in the game. And then it starts to taper off, taper off, taper off. You get less and less. You just get what you get from the Arclight Surge. You don't have big red buttons to reset your grid anymore. You're waiting and waiting and waiting for this talent. Then you finally get it, and now it's bad. I think it's going to be a really, really tricky situation for Warcraft Rumble. And what I would hope, and I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments if you've gotten to this point in the video, what I would hope is that we see Warcraft Rumble give you some way to respec nerfed characters or something like that. I think that would be really cool. I don't think it would ruin the game for people who are paying for it, because any game like this, you do have to balance the two crowds. You have to balance the free-to-play players who provide, you know, tons of excitement and players to the game, and then you have to balance the pay-to-play players who want an advantage for paying inside of a game like this. You need to balance that, because you have one side that is the massive amount of your player base, the free-to-play, and then you have the other side, which is the pay-to-play, which is paying for this video game to exist. You have to balance it, and I think a happy middle ground, probably for both pay to play and free to play, would be some sort of respec option once a balance change happens to a specific mini. So it's not like you'd respec all of your minis. If nothing changed, you know, on Necromancer, you're not going to respec its talent. That doesn't seem super reasonable, at least to me, but it does seem reasonable if they change fundamentally the way a mini works, and that is directly tied to that mini's talent, that you'd at least be able to respec and even just refund that gold. So it was 250 to get that talent, you're able to respec that 250, you get it back, and Whelp Eggs loses that Flame Burst talent. You might find the next talent inside of the grid at some point. You may not find it for quite some time, just like me with the Dark Spiritual, but at least you'll have that option. And I think something like that is probably a fair compromise for what's going to happen when the game inevitably sees balance changes to its minis. Again, I would love to hear from you in the comments. I think Warcraft Rumble can handle this, but it is a looming problem for the game, and I'm very curious to see what happens with it. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening, I love you very much, and I will see you all next time. We did it.